everyone. Welcome back to our channel. It is a tribe called Dhillon Podcasts. I'm Angie Dhillon.
And I'm Rose Dhillon.
And I'm Alvin Dhillon.
And if I can ask you for a quick favor, go and hit that subscribe button. If you are not supporting our podcast, we would love your support so that we can grow our channel a little bit bigger. Thank you for your support. And don't forget to check us out on all of our social channels. Today is a very exciting episode for us. Before we get into our win of the week segment, just want to wish all of you out there a happy Mother's Day today. It is Mother's Day as this episode drops, and to all of the maternal figures out there that influence the future leaders in the form of a mom, we just want to say thank you so much. We are not parents, but we know that being a parent and being a mother is a really, really incredible job. Probably one of the hardest jobs out there. And so we just want to say a special salute to you. And we hope that this episode is special. And we are dedicating this episode to our mom. We did kind of try to feel her out to see if she would like to have been on this episode, but I gave her the heebie-jeebies and then we shut it down. So the next best thing that we could do is to talk about our mom. And so mom, surprise! This episode, we're talking all things about our mama. So with that said, let's get into our win of the week. Al, over to you.
Okie dokie. My win's kind of cool. I kind of decided that I was going to go do a little overhaul of my wardrobe because I am kind of understanding, like, as I go back and edit episodes and I see myself, I'll see things like, I didn't shave that episode. I did not look good. Or I'm always wearing the sweaters. I should kind of change it up. Like, I do have nice clothes, but I kind of save them when I'm going to the reception or parties or whatnot. And I said, no, I should start wearing a little bit nicer clothes too on the podcast and just kind of upgrading my wardrobe because I spend it on kind of dumb things. So I went to my wardrobe and I didn't realize how much old clothes I had and the things that I think I would wear at some point, but I would not because that style is really old or it's baggy. So before I said I'm going to do that, let me go get some new clothes first before I start getting rid of things. So we went on the long weekend down to the States and we said, okay, we'll go do some shopping because things are, even after conversion, are way cheaper over there. So we went there and they did. It was an amazing sale. Things were 50% off. And I got some great things for the podcast, great things for work. And I came back home and I basically just removed everything out of my closet. And I didn't realize that there's a lot of things that I had in my closet I wore that Dad likes. Then I thought to myself, man, how old is my style? Dad likes my clothing.
Dad took everything.
He took everything, and everything fit him.
Yeah.
So and some of the clothes still had tags on it that I had sitting there, like old plaid shirts that look cool on the mannequin, and I bought it. And I'm like, I look like a picnic table. Like, I'm not going to wear this. So got rid of a whole bunch of stuff, gave the rest of things to Dad, and I have a whole new wardrobe that I'm going to start building. And keep in mind, I'm not spending an arm and a leg on this wardrobe. I'm shopping smart by going to places like Zara and H&M and Tommy Hilfiger and buying it when it's on sale, because all clothes go on sale at some point.
Yes.
And I refuse to pay regular price for something that if I just wait a little bit of time, I'll get it at half the price.
Yeah. And Al and I will never pay full price for anything. And we love a good deal.
Yeah.
High five.
Yeah.
There's nothing in life worth paying high the
premium
price or even the ticket price, because even when you go buy a car, you don't pay the sticker price.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Rose, your win.
Okay. Well, I have a win and a sad thing that I have to just get off my chest first. So I'll start with the sad thing and then I'll lead with the win. The sad thing is that I am someone who always walks around, and Alice knows this, and I always go, we ain't going nowhere because we bad boy for life. I have been saying this line since I discovered it when Diddy said it like 20 years ago. Mm-hmm. And I walk around all the time, randomly saying it in my head or singing it aloud. And I'm like, oh shit, I can't say that anymore. So I'm a little sad that I have to say goodbye to that line.
Thanks for fixing that.
Yeah. So
there's been so many episodes where I've got like a big bubble here and nobody fixes it.
Sorry, I never look at you. I always try to look at the camera so I can engage with them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had to be like, so if I say it, please don't cancel me. Please don't yell at me. It's going to be a transition. This has been a program running in my brain since I heard that line. And I was like, I love this line. This is great. So that's my, I guess it's like a grieving process, I'm having to say goodbye to that line. But the win is, I was driving at my mall the other day and I was coming out of it and I saw this car spin. And anybody who knows me knows I have zero interest in cars. I don't like driving. I drive a Honda HR-V because Hondas are great cars. I have zero interest. And this car went past me and my eyes went, oh, that's a nice looking car. There's something, it was a very different gray. Like, you have the standard dark gray and then the silver. It was like the blend between the two of them. And it was very shiny and it was chic. And then it spun around me and I went, oh, it's a Tesla. Really? Oh. And you know who's a fan of Elon Musk? And I was like, I want to buy this car. And the price tag is hefty, but guess what? I'm gonna work towards something now.
So what version or which version
the
of his
newest
car?
model? I think it's
What
Model S, right? We looked it up. It's
Model S is
the latest, the newest one that just came out this past year.
It's a little more sleeker. They kind of made the body look cool. It is a nice car though.
Mm-hmm. Very nice car.
Rose is obsessed with Elon Musk, aka we endearingly call him Elu.
And you know what's funny? Because I had a friend of mine like, you should sell all your Tesla stocks. That company's going down. And I was like, after seeing this car today, I was like, then this is why I still own all his stocks. This is exactly why, because this guy's gonna keep coming out with new, like, it looked almost like a fancy car, maybe like one of those like Porsche, like fancy, just something really chic and beautiful, like
a Bentley.
It caught me. Like, I don't have any interest in cars, even his old cars. I've had no interest in them. There was something about that car, and I was like, when it turned left, I'm like, well, thank God it's electric, because I thought the next car I do get, I want to do my part for the environment.
Good.
Yes.
Amazing.
# goals to work towards.
Good. My win is I'm going to piggyback off of Elle. When we went to the States and we did a little bit of shopping, I came back from the duty-free. I came into the duty-free store at the border and I bought myself a Guess tote bag just because I don't really care too much about the flashy stuff. Well, sometimes I like to have some nice things, but this is a practical tote bag that I need for work and I got a killer deal on it. So I'm happy with that. That is our win. That is my win, I should say. Okay, let's get into today. It is Mother's Day today. It's the day for the three of us to collectively reflect on the significance and the impact that our mom has had on the three of us, how she's shaped our personalities, our being. And I think this is a way to pay tribute and homage to our mama.
All right.
Right? So let's get into this here. So, okay, as siblings, how has our understanding of maternal love evolved over time? Because we know that there are a lot of people out there that don't have moms that may not have a maternal influence in their life. But for us, how does this day have significance for us as moms' children? Rose,
the older I get, the more I appreciate mom. The more I realize all her hard work, her sacrifice. She sacrificed a lot, far more than I would ever have sacrificed. And I'm a hustler, so is that I'm a straight up hustler. And I always think, where did I get this from? And then I look at my mom, I'm like, she's 70 and she's still hustling. Okay, so it is just genetics. And I'm really, really fortunate to have those genes because that's carried me through dark times and tough times where I know people who are like, I can't work through something like this, or I can't. And I'm like, nope, I don't got a choice. You got to keep working through these things. And I really admire that part of her, is that even when the going gets tough, she doesn't cave under pressure. She gets up and she just keeps going. And that woman is made of some other steel that I don't know what they put in her.
Yeah. And I'm going to correct you on this because I know that as our mom is going to be watching this episode, she's going to say to you, Rose, I am not 70.
Oh, yeah.
69.
Sorry. Thank you. You're right.
So she's not 70.
Really 68. They lied on her passport.
In August, she turns the big 70. But I'm going to tell you right now, my mom looks 20 years younger. Yep. She's aging so well. Yep. And it's all of these herbs and spices and things she takes that her concoctions are we'll have to get her on to talk about her beauty secrets. But I wanted to correct you because when this episode airs, I know she's going to be thankful that I corrected it.
Yep. You're right. And I shouldn't do that because I'm 42. I don't want someone to say, well, you're going to be 43 at the end of the year. So you're right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So Al, let's talk about all the love and care that our mom has shown. How do we appreciate her? How do you? Because you get the most amount of smothering from
the time you were born.
Yep.
And still she smothers you. You're like Vinny from Jersey Shore.
And I feel
Vinny's
like I don't
mom.
appreciate her enough because I get so much love that it's too much that I'm like, hey man, back up a little bit. Like, give me my space. You're too close. So it's like, I feel back because I'm like, I don't know why I'm annoyed with her sometimes, but it's because she just over loves you. But she's also the type person where she's like, no, you should stay here. I'll go and work. And you're like, that's not what you should be teaching the boys. Like, and I had to like see it for myself. Like, this is not healthy. Sure. Their way of thinking is like, no, the boy, you just chill out. We'll go do the work for you. And you're like, you guys are like 70 years old. Just, you need to relax. Now let us take the reins a little bit. So I'm really starting to understand myself. Like, sometimes just don't be so hard on her and like be nice, because sometimes we get a little frustrated with her and we get a little short with her, and I have to stop and say, no, this is not right. She's having a little frustration today. Just hear her out. She's been working her entire life. She has struggled, and a lot of stories I've never even known until in the last few years, when Rose would ask questions, and then she'll tell us about like the trials and tribulations that she had to go through when she was younger and what she experienced. And when I hear those stories, like you want to cry and say, I can't believe people treated you like this way. Yeah. And you still kind of had a smile on your face and you pushed through and you persevered because you had to raise 3 kids. It's just, when I hear her story, like it's hard to understand that this is what you were going through. Yeah. And like, there was nothing really I can do about it because I was like a little kid. But I still feel like as I got older, she's still not understanding like, hey, I'm grown now. It's okay. You can let go a little bit, but she still wants to baby you. And I say, okay, if I allow this is actually not good for her and it's not good for me, because now she's using all her time for me to say, hey, are you okay? And I was like, no, you need to use that time for yourself. You need to start doing your own self-care, because unfortunately, as we get older, we are getting busier. We can't sit there all the time with her. And I want to empower her and say, Mom, you've done enough for your kids now. It's time for you to go enjoy your life. Like, I just found out yesterday that they finally booked their vacation, which I've been pushing them to. I said, you guys need to enjoy this money. You don't need to leave any of it behind for us. Because if you do, I'll just go buy a Ferrari with it. I'm not going to really enjoy it. Yeah. So like I love Mom, but she doesn't know how to take a break. She just thinks you got to go 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Totally.
And I think you said it well, Al. I think with moms, just it's in their nature to just smother. And I think moms in general don't ever know how to turn it off. They don't have an off switch. They're always in mommy mode. They're always in, how can I make the situation better? Sometimes, Rose, when you and I wrestle, sometimes Mom's the instant peacemaker, like, don't fight, what's happening? And that's what I've over the years, and I appreciate Mom's ability so much more as I've gotten older, and I've observed like our mom is a total peacemaker. Yeah. She doesn't like friction. She doesn't like tension. And I see that a lot of you in her, because at all costs, my mom will try to keep the peace. And sometimes it's a detriment, because I truly feel that a lot of people have walked over our mom and she never stands up for herself, to the point where now we're learning to stand up for her, but I want her to stand up for herself because she deserves that. So that's what I've learned from my observations, is that she's just so carefree sometimes. And so like nothing seems to bother her, or if it does, she never shows you. We never know those internal wounds because she is from that generation that suppresses their emotions. Yes. Like I don't think I've ever seen Mom cry.
The only time I saw her cry was at her father's funeral. And that's where I think it was so hard to watch. I mean, I was a child, I was 12 years old, but I remember saying to Dad, what's wrong with Mom? Because she was screaming and she was pulling on the casket. And, people are going to be like, well, the father was 95 and she was in her 40s, but she had lost her mother at a very young age. And so I think not being able to say goodbye to her mother, she was 21 years old when she lost her, or 25 years old when she lost her mother. And it wasn't something that it wasn't like her mom was sick for a long time. They saw it coming. It was very unexpected. It was very quick. That obviously impacted her. Then having, being married and having children and then having in-laws, like she had a whole bunch of stuff she had to go through. So yeah, when I saw her cry that was the first time I'd seen her like just release all of these emotions. And I was like I didn't recognize her. I didn't know who that person was. Mm-hmm.
And that's hard because there's so many people out there that can probably relate that they lost their moms sometimes even before they were born, or they lost their mom at a really young age. And it's like to navigate the world and to navigate life without your mom, that's hard. And we're sometimes so hard on our mom that we often forget that our mom at a time when I think Mom lost her mom when she was 21.
It was the year I was born. She lost her mother in January because I was born in December.
And how old was Mom?
I think she was 25 or 26.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay. I was thinking 21, but that's such a young age. Yep. We're in our 40s. I can't imagine not having our mom around.
Right. Mm-hmm. We sometimes take it for granted.
Sometimes I always tell her, I was like, Mom, you're showing too much over love. I was like, she wants to come feed us all the time. Okay, you guys want to eat? What do you want me to make? Mom, don't worry, it's okay. We're not going to come back 10 minutes later. Okay, what do you guys want to eat? Mom, we're good. Don't worry about us. We're going to be heading an hour later. Okay, so what should we make for later? Mom, just chill. Don't worry. We don't need to eat. It's okay. Go use your time for something else. 2 hours later, okay, we're going, Mom, stop. And now you're like, why am I yelling at her? She's trying to feed us and being nice to us, and we're yelling at her. And then I say, okay, this is her love language. This is all she knows is to feed us. And she not only wants to be, I feel like, useful or something like that, because she won't use it for herself. If you say, go, here's your time. We're going to give you a massage, go do stuff. She just won't.
But this is all she knows, Al. Right. Yeah. Think about her entire life. She's had
today
3
was
children.
The first time I heard her saying, I'm going to start doing self-care. So she went to call a massage lady to get a massage. And I was like, something's going on here, but I like it.
Yeah. But if you think
she's watching us and she's seeing us evolve and she's starting to understand. And I've said this to her on several occasions, but I'm glad that you're bringing that up, because and that's why I'm saying this to a lot of women too. Like, I think motherhood is one of the most beautiful things that you experience in life. But at some point, your children will grow up and they will live their life. And so you can't bank on grandkids. I know a lot of people are like, well, you didn't give your mom grandkids, so that's why. And I'm like, that shouldn't be your sole way of finding happiness. You have to take care of yourself. You have to find hobbies that you like to do. You have to do things outside of your children, even your partner. Like, your journey on this planet is alone. You came in this world alone. You're going to leave this world alone. And that's what I keep trying to tell Mom, is like, you can have everything, your husband, children, all that. But if you're not inside taking care of yourself, it's going to bleed out. And that's
not fulfilling.
It's not fulfilling.
Yeah.
It's not fulfilling.
Yeah. And I think you hit the head on something as well right now when you said that, give your parents grandkids. But there's a lot of parents there that have children and that have grandchildren, but they have a dysfunctional relationship where they don't even see their grandkids.
No, and I know a lot of grandparents are like, I'm not taking care of your kids. I already raised kids. Go ahead, go get somebody. And these kids are like, wait, what? I had kids in the hopes that you were going to take care of my kids. And like, I know a lot of people who say like that, my in-laws or my father, like that, no, we've raised our kids.
And I get it.
You got to go to daycare.
Like,
and I get it. They want to enjoy their life.
Like, we got like 10, 15 years left of that where we can barely even remember ourselves.
Right.
We want to enjoy life a little bit. So I totally get it. So I feel like we're forcing Mom to now understand, like, take some time for yourself. Go do things. Like, I remember we had forced her to go have lunch with her sister and her other sister. And I said, you guys need to go do this. I was like, it's not like you guys aren't talking. You guys spend 3 to 4 hours a day on the phone.
Yeah.
So why can't you take that out, go take the car, go meet up for an hour or two? Now that's 4 hours, but you actually did it together in person. It's like us having working remote and wanting to go into the office every now and then. You need that office experience. So I told her, I was like, you talking on the phone all the time is not healthy for you guys just to be talking about the same thing over and over again. Go in person, go have an experience, go try out a new restaurant.
Right.
So she's starting to be more active with that. And I see it. She's not understanding that she feels like, I think she feels like she doesn't deserve this. Like, and she's like, oh, I don't deserve to be doing this stuff. When
I think the other reason is she feels guilty leaving Dad, because our dad is a bit of an introvert, and he doesn't mind and he enjoys his own company, a bit of a loner. Sorry, Dad. He likes to be alone. And I think Mom feels a little guilty that if she leaves, like, Dad's home alone, the kids are not there, you're doing their own thing. So I think at this age, they feel like they have each other and that they should always do things together. But I think it's healthy when they separate sometimes and they have their own lives and their own friends.
Exactly. Everybody needs a break from everybody. You hang out with the same people over and over again, you're gonna go into that cycle of being frustrated. Like I was telling you guys, my last week, I was like, we need to take a break sometimes. It's okay. Our bond is very tight because we don't see each other for one weekend. Doesn't mean the world's gonna end. Everyone needs to separate, because then it allows you to miss that person. If you're with them all the time, you never get that opportunity to say, oh, I miss their company, or I miss this because I see them all the time. So then you take them for granted.
Al, what have you learned, or what have you observed about Mom through your observations with her? Something that you're like, wow, like, this is going to carry me when I have my own family?
It's her work ethic and her, like, unconditional love. Like, it doesn't matter if you yell at Mom, she doesn't say anything back. Just sits there and says, okay. Only very few times in my life I've heard her say the F word, because we kept forcing her to say it. Like, just say it. Yeah. Finally, she would say it, but she felt like so bad after she said it, like she's done the worst thing ever. But she's just too nice. I feel like
she's too nice.
You'll never meet people like that are that unconditional loving. Like, I tell her all the time. I said, if I had kids, I will not do the same things that you do for us to my kids. I'm going to make them like give them a little bit of a harder life because you gave it to me so easy that now I'm kind of like, I have to make it hard for myself. So then I develop into a better human being. Otherwise, if you leave it to me right now, I'm doing nothing. I'm going to sit here and get a massage and fed grapes all day and then be carried around. That's it.
Okay, lovely. That's what you've learned. Rose, what have you learned from mom?
There's so many things that I can say that I learned from mom, but this story just popped in my head and I was like, I've got to share this because as much as mom is, we want to say kind of like me, which is a pushover, she's not always like that. And this story that our cousin told us, I thought we needed to hear that because we're like, whoa. So here's a story that my mom was working at her store one day, and after work, she went to go pick up my cousin. This is like,
and our mom is self-employed.
Yeah. So I want to say this is like 15 years ago. Yeah, 15 years ago. And so she went to go pick up her nephew from his house. So she went to go to her brother's home. She met with him and then she brought him home. So on the way home, she was, okay, there's not enough gas. So she went to the gas station. My mom doesn't really drive a lot. But she went to the gas station to fill up. So as she was going, I guess this girl cut her off and tried to take her spot. And mom was like, no, I was here before you. So mom went and parked in the spot. So mom got out to start filling up the gas. And the girl was like, pff. And she looked at her. She was an Indian girl, young Indian girl. She's like, bitch.
Oh, she said that to
mom? And so mom, obviously this is probably pent up. This is what I mean by pent up. She goes, no, you fucking bitch. You. And she started cursing at the woman
at the gas station,
pointing at her and saying, you bitch, you're wrong. You cut me out. And my cousin Neil's like, he's like, oh, your mom won the fight because she was the loudest.
But where was our cousin throughout this entire
He was sitting
ordeal?
In the car the whole time, the passenger seat.
He wasn't even mom's backup?
He was stunned. He's like, I never knew, like, our aunt had it in her. Like, when he came out to us, I was like, okay.
That's not our mom.
That's not.
Yeah, I didn't believe that story too.
No, he's like, she won. I was like, she won. He's like, yeah, the young girl like backed down and just like pulled away. Like this she means business.
That was
and I was like,
moment for
now
me.
that I think back to it, I was like, that was all that pent up that she doesn't get to
aggression.
Say. Yep.
Yeah.
It had to go somewhere.
But that's terrible that a younger person would call an elderly person. Yeah. You know, where's the respect, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that was probably one thing that I really loved hearing about her. I would say you asked what the question was, like, if I learned from observing.
What have you learned? Mom has that undercover fire.
Totally undercover fire. That she's very loyal. She's fiercely loyal. That's where we get this from, is you don't mess with her family. You don't mess with her siblings. Mm-hmm. You don't mess with her siblings' kids. She is fire when it comes to her immediate family. Mm-hmm. Ride or die. Don't mess with them. And I think that's such a great quality that's so lost today.
Yeah.
That I really, really admire about her.
Yeah. I love mom's relationship that she has with her sister, because that's the reason that you and I have such a tight bond, because sometimes I'll eavesdrop on their conversations just to hear what they talk about. And they have the cutest conversations. And, you know, and as our parents get older, we know that, you know, you're going to lose some siblings along the way. But the fact that, you know, mom has such a tight knit bond with all of her siblings. Yeah. And I love that mom champions for family. And that's where the three of us collectively have gotten the bond of family and family values, because our mother constantly reinforced to us. She's like, friends will come and go, people will come and go, partners will come and go, but your siblings are your siblings, are your siblings. And that has been engraved in our DNA. Like we should get a tattoo on that, because I just feel that mom has reinforced the importance of family and your siblings. And for me, I just see her when, you know, her and her siblings can get into tiffs themselves. Yeah. But if anyone else from the outside comes and says anything about their siblings, like mom's got their back. Yeah. And I love that level of loyalty and fierceness. And it's amazing to see that as they've gotten older and they're getting up there in age, that all of her siblings have this amazing relationship with each other. Like their dynamic is so cool, because all I hear often is that a lot of my friends, their parents don't have relationships with their siblings and their parents, and some of them don't know their cousins. So I've been so fortunate to see our mom and the bond that she has with her siblings, because it's only strengthened ours. The one thing that I have learned from mom, and I don't want to get emotional and choked up, is she's taught me a valuable lesson, because for the longest time, I harbored a lot of hate and resentment for certain situations that occurred in my life. And what I've learned from mom is the secret of forgiveness.
Yeah.
because our mom is the most forgiving person I know. Like, and I've said this before, people will walk all over her. She has been disrespected, and I'm not insinuating anything. This is just from our observations from her with anyone and everyone, friends, over the course of her life. And she just always takes
the high. She takes the high road.
She's always the bigger and the better person.
Yep.
She'll never be caught in gossip. She never. Well, if she does gossip, we don't know. But she's never been caught. She's never been caught in gossip.
No, gossip is good. She keeps it to her
but her gossip
limits.
has never ever come back or said like, "Hey, you said this about me." Like it's always she knows the right people to gossip with. Yeah, right. Let's say everybody gossips.
Everybody gossips.
It's human nature. It's human nature. But mom is a type that just, it's just when someone's wronged her, like she's like, it's okay. She's like, God's watching. That's her line. God's watching. Karma will come back.
Will come back.
She's taught me the importance of forgiveness, because forgiveness is not for the other person.
Yeah. Forgiveness
is for you to let go of the anger and not to harbor any animosity. So often in situations like we don't want to forgive. But what I've learned from mom is just forgive, but don't forget.
Yeah.
And that's what is going to really help, I think, shape the trajectory of my life, because people are going to screw you along the way.
Yeah.
We know that, right? Yeah. And it's just, how do you handle the screwing around, and how do you rise above the pettiness? So there's so many qualities of mom that I admire: her work ethic, her grit, her determination. Like, she's like a woman of steel. We have this running joke in our family that she's made a German because she never breaks down and she's never sick. That woman never catches a cold. And if she does, she's like Teflon Don's sister. Boom. She's right
when we all caught COVID, I was out. Like, I ended up in the hospital. Dad got sick. Mom got sick for 1 day, maybe 2 days, and then she ended up taking care of all of us.
And making soup for everybody.
And then while we're extremely sick around us, she's just like, nothing bothered her. I was like, her immune system is like freakishly strong.
Yeah. Okay, I want to get to this question here, because I know this one's going to make mom cringe, this question, but we got to talk about it. We are in the business of being authentic. So I'm going to I want to go to this here to make sure that I say it in the way. Okay. So how has our relationship with mom and the way she expresses love towards us and her siblings, like, what have we learned about mom's love and affection techniques? Like, what, or the lack of what have we not learned from mom about that?
And I had to talk with her about this when she came and spent time with me, because I've been kind of really probing in on her journey right through from childhood all the way to adulthood. I think when they grew up, they grew up in Fiji, and it was the British were in power very much. And what we learned about the British is very stoic. You don't show emotion, very military. And I think that had a lot to do with how she was raised, because that was how her father was to some degree. And she said even a little bit of her mother. I think that kind of manifested in her, because she was, and it was someone who didn't tell us. She's like, I just assumed you knew I loved you. I was like, no, well, we needed to hear that. So she didn't tell us I love you for a very long time. And she would, I tell her this all the time. She used to do this running joke with me in high school. I used to sleep in all the time. Right? I was a kid. You go out with your friends on a Saturday night and you come home at like midnight. You're on the phone, and then you don't get up till like noon. And she's like, okay, you sleep all you want now. When you're married and you live with your in-laws, you'll be waking up at 7 making tea. And I'm like, I never want to get married. And I remember saying like, I never want to have that. And I never did that, because she was like, oh, I was preparing you for what it would be like when you actually got married and had to do this. And I was like, and that backfired, because that's exactly why I didn't want to do it. I was like, I ain't waking up at 7 a.m. making tea for nobody when I don't even like tea. That's not fair.
So she did you a service by giving you that little preview of what's going to happen.
She was trying to groom you for marriage.
Totally trying to groom me for marriage. She was always trying to, and I mean, I love that she was always, she's family, and that's all she knew. So I cut her a lot of slack, because her mind was very much programmed of a woman's value is based on her being a wife, a mother, and a daughter-in-law. Those were the only three things that she knew. And that's what she and instilled in us. And the two of us were kind of like,
We're the rebel without a cause.
I don't know. There might be a little bit more to life than that. So we kind of challenge it. And she's coming around to it. She's coming around to being like, oh, like maybe you're right. Maybe your guys' value is not based on just these things. It could be based on other things. Like, you know, like she was so proud when I got my PMP. She's like, she messaged me, Rose, this is a very hard exam. It's very tough. People don't pass this exam. You passed. I'm like, thanks, Mom. Thanks.
You know what I find interesting with our parents now is, and maybe other people can relate, but as our parents are getting older and getting up there in age, we're suddenly becoming the parent where we're teaching them things. The roles have somehow reversed where we're teaching them a thing or two and they're like, I didn't know that about my kids. But here's my theory on this. And I think this might be maybe, I might have to ask some of our other uncles and how they feel about this. But I think there's something to be said when you have so many children, one or two of them are bound to get lost in the shuffle and the mix.
100%.
And I think that's where it happened to Mom is the love, the affection, all of that didn't come. And so she had to learn to fend for herself and just kind of put on this protective barrier and just kind of like, okay, if I'm not going to get the love, you know, I have to navigate life in a different way. And so Mom's MO through life was just to be tough and strong, be hardworking, and the rest doesn't matter. And I think now that we're getting older, we want the hugs. We want the I love you. We want her to, you know, we want her to physically say that I think you guys are stars and that we love you. So even now when we hug Mom, it's still work in progress because her hugs are like Mom doesn't know how to hug and we don't know how to hug for that reason. So amongst the three of us now, when we hug each other, we make sure that it's like a proper, you know, jappi, a proper hug. But even that took a little bit of time for us three to figure out with each other. And there's no way anyone external stands a chance with us because it's awkward, especially with partners. But with our immediate family, our cousins, you best believe we're going to give you a solid hug.
But they're in the same boat as us, so that they're like, hey, don't worry, we're not judging you. We feel you.
So that's what I find with people. I'm trying to get better at when I have colleagues and stuff. I am trying to make a point that I hug them, which is not the conventional in corporate settings, but I need to work on that because that is the side of you that you don't ever want to lose, the human connection and that touch side.
100%.
So, what about you, Al?
I keep thinking of this one line that Mom doesn't realize when she says it. It's kind of funny because it's like a backhanded compliment. Whenever I do something or I've like completed something or I figured something out, she would say it all the time. She's like, you know, Alvin, like, you are very smart. You know, you have a brain. You just don't use it. Thanks, Mom. Oh, damn, man. Come on.
She got you there.
Yeah, all the time. She's like, you know, you are very smart. You have a brain. You just don't use it. Like, thank you. I'm gonna walk away from these now.
And you know what? Our mom, unfortunately, like she said, that she wasn't able to because there were so many children. She wasn't able to further her education. But I'll tell you right now, our mom is really undercover smart. So
smart,
very smart. And I don't think
she plays dumb.
And she does, and that's what I've caught. I think that's Mom's superpower is when there's a situation and there's something happening that we want her to comment. Mom has the intellect ability to and the emotional intelligence sometimes in situations to understand that this situation does not warrant my opinion. I'm going to plead the fifth.
No, and
that's art. That's art.
I love that you said it because I taught her a few months back when she came to my house. I downloaded ChatGPT and I said to her, if you've got sometimes things that you want to get answers, go on this thing. It's called ChatGPT, obviously, because she gets her information from Facebook. And we all know that that's not the right way to go.
She doesn't realize that just the photoshopping of things.
So I said, go on ChatGPT. So she's like, okay, show me how to do it. So I showed it, downloaded her, and I thought, you know what, she probably won't. And then a few months later, she had some problems. She was like, oh, I went on ChatGPT and it told me that I should, I'm like, oh,
I know.
Oh, okay then. She's like, yeah. And then I asked ChatGPT, I'm like, whoa, okay. Whoa, you were ahead of like people in my work can't even adapt to using ChatGPT. She's like, I love this thing. It's great. Like figured out the ins and outs of it.
Yeah. Mom's the type of person you have to force her into something. And then when she starts using it, she loves it. She's like, oh, wow. Okay. I can't go back. So if I forced her into getting Bluetooth headphones, she kept complaining, I don't like the way it sits in my ear. I'm like, there's no earphone that's going to ever be made that you're going to like. So I just try it. So we got her one. And I didn't want to spend a lot of money because I know she's probably going to lose it or something. So we'll buy replacements. But she got it. And then now I see her, sometimes she's walking around the house and I'm yelling her name. She's not listening. And I can't tell because her hair is covered. She's doing dishes. She's running and she has her music going.
She's like those young teenagers that don't take off their headphones.
I didn't hear that. I had my music going. I'm like,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm talking to like a teenager kid.
Yeah, totally.
But I love it though, because she's empowering and she's embracing technology, which
Yes.
is going to help her in the long run. Because let's say in 10 years when we're doing something, we're busy, she's going to know how to navigate and connect and do things and do what she needs to do.
That's one thing I like about mom is she's very open to change.
Yes.
And when you show her something or you explain it to her, she usually gets it. And she's very good at directions. Our mom is like a
good at
manual.
directions.
She's a very good manual GPS.
Yeah.
Our dad, you can tell him once or he'll go somewhere, he will always get lost.
Yeah.
But my mom will get you to the destination from A to B just on this.
She's like a compass built in her head.
Totally.
She is.
Built-in
Mom has
compass.
a good sense of direction. Okay, well, with that said, I think that's our time. We just want to say to all of the moms out there and maternal influences out there, you are doing such an incredible job. It is not easy being a mother, and we just want to salute you and say thank you so much. We really hope you had an amazing Mother's Day and you were shown a lot of love from those that love you and that are near and dear to you. And to our mom, we just want to say, Mom, we
love
you.
We love you. Thank you for everything that you do.
Yes.
Thank you for continuing to take care of us, empowering us. And the biggest thing I want to say, thank you for just embracing us.
Yeah.
I know that this stuff doesn't make any sense to our mom and probably to our dad. They sometimes or often they don't get what we're doing, but they still support us. And she watches all of our episodes and she likes, comments all the time. So Mom, we just want to say thank you for accepting your kids the way they are.
Yes.
And thank you for taking care of Dewey here all the time.
I love you. I just want to say thank you for changing my diaper for the last 30 years. I really appreciate it. Yes.
I don't even know what to say
I have
after
a clean
that.
ass now because of you.
Mom, I just want to say I love you. Thank you for just allowing me to be fierce and be creative and in all the things you champion for us and you support us in everything that we do, even though you may not understand it. I love you for that, Mom. And we may not say it as often as we do, but we want the whole world to know that we just love you. And thank you for always taking care of us and making amazing meals for us. And just if I want something like ras malai or I want like prasad, you will just get up and make it. So thank you, Mom. Mwah. I love you, Rose.
Last, Mom, you are amazing. Seeing you grow on this journey with us, watching you become the woman that I've always knew you could be, has just been so amazing to watch. Thank you, like Anne said, for accepting us and allowing us to just go on the journey that fulfills our soul. It might not be what you thought it would be, but I love that you're coming around and that you're just allowing us to shine and be who we are, and you support us. And that's what every child wants, is a parent to support them. So thank you for doing that, because that is what gives us the juice to keep going.
Yeah, I feel like we're doing God's work. Like that's our purpose. So thank you, Mom. We love and appreciate you. Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
And you best believe that we're going to be showering you and doing something special for you. So with that said, please think about your win of the week. This was an amazing episode. So sending everyone love and light. Happy Mother's Day. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and DM us in the comments or what you did with your mom or your maternal figure on Mother's Day. We would love to hear some ideas, how you showered her with love and what the family did. So the tribe is going to be signing off. We're back next week. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
See ya.